Hey, what's going on, people? It's your boy Jimmy again, coming at you with another tutorial. Now, before we get started, would you please like, subscribe, and comment? I really appreciate it. Alright, now as with any low wavelength haircut, you're gonna always start by brushing the hair, and this is very important because this prevents you from having any gaps when you start to cut the hair. Alright, now just to go ahead and start this haircut, I'm gonna go in the wave pattern that I just brushed in. I'm gonna go with the grain, and I'm using my number 1 Andis guard. So I'm gonna just go ahead and knock everything down to the level that I need it, and I'll come at you with the next part of the cut. Alright, so for the next part of the cut, I'm gonna grab my Oster Fast feed. I'm gonna close the gap in my blade all the way up, and I'm gonna start my guideline. Now, the reason why I didn't start my guideline with the edges is because I didn't want to make the initial guideline get so hard to where I would have to work too hard to actually get it out and take a chance that happened to raise the level of the low fade. So now I'm gonna go ahead and follow up with my T-edges, just to go ahead and get that bottom part of the fade clean. And also remember to stay as close to the ear as you can, because you don't want to take a chance at having to raise the raise the level of the fade. So just stay as close to the ear as you can, and make sure you get everything around the ear and going to the back of the neck. Make sure you get everything clean in that area. And as you may have already noticed, the fade actually drops. That's why it's actually called a drop fade, because that fade has to take a dip in the back just to kind of set it apart from the rest of it. So, alright, for the next part of the cut, I'm going to go ahead and grab my Oster Fast feed, and I'm going to open the gap in my blade, and I'm going to go up about 1/4 inch in that same shape. I'm going to keep going in that same motion until I clearly establish my 2 different levels. Alright, next I'm going to grab my 0 guard, my number 0 guard, and I'm going to go up in that same exact shape with the gap in my blade closed. That way I could distinguish between the level that I just created and the new level that I'm going at now. So I'm going to go up in that same shape, 1/4 inch, and I'm going to do this until I clearly establish the 3rd level in the fade. Now as for this part, I'm going to grab my number 1 Andis guard, and I'm going to go up in that same exact shape, another 1/4 inch. And also remember, when you're fading, you want to use the motion in your wrist, and you want to use the motion that you flick out, and that way you make sure you don't take off a significant amount of hair that will cause you to have to raise your fade up another level. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and grab my number 2 guard, and I'm going to go up in that same shape about 1/4 inch. Now by this point, with the number 2 guard, you should start to see the space and the lines disappear between the top and the bottom of the fade. Alright, now that I've done all my initial fading, I'm going to go ahead and go back to the bottom of this fade. And because I have my Andis Fade Master 0 gaps, I'm going to close the gap in the blade, and I'm going to go up to where I created my initial guideline, and I'm going to go over that area until that guideline disappears. Alright, now that I have my initial guideline out, I'm going to go ahead and close the gap in my blade and on my Oster Fast feed, and I'm going to go ahead and go up to where I see the next level in the fade, and I'm going to go ahead and knock that line out. And like I said, I have the gap in the blade closed on this part of the haircut. And as I get higher into the fade, I'm gonna go ahead and work between opening and closing the gap in the blade, all according to how much hair I need to take out in a certain spot. Alright, next we're gonna grab my 0 guard again, and I'm gonna go ahead and go up in that same exact shape until I meet the next guideline in the fade. And I'm gonna go ahead and go at it with my wrist flick out motion until I see the next line in the fade disappear. Alright, next we're gonna go ahead and grab my number 1 guard, and I'm gonna go in that same shape, up about 1/4 inch again, and I'm just going over it and taking out the next guideline. And also remember that, that within this fade, as I change my guard combs, I'm also working between opening and closing the gap in the blade. Also, always remember that the higher you go up in the fade, the more you want to pull back and open the gap in the blade up. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and grab my number 2 guard, and I'm going to go ahead and go up to the last guideline that I created. And because this is my last guideline, I don't want to use the flick out motion on this one. I kind of want to stay kind of close to the scalp with the clippers on this. That's so I can go ahead and get rid of that last piece of bulk and to bring the fade all the way together. Alright, now for this part, my fade is pretty much complete on this side. The only thing I'm doing is just I'm just going out and getting out any small minor imperfections in the fade, just so I can make sure it's 100% smooth from bottom to top. So I'll go ahead and let you watch this, and then I'll come at you with the next part of the haircut. Alright, now as for this side, it's going to be pretty much the same exact procedure as I did on the other side, no different. So I'm going to go ahead and play this for you and kind of speed it up so you won't have to, waste all your time. So I'll go ahead and speed this up for you, let you watch the fade come out, and I'll come at you with the next part of the haircut. Alright, now as for the back of the head, it's somewhat done already because of the work that I did on the sides going into the back. But there is a small part of the hair that needs to be faded and that needs to be blended more. Alright, so basically I'm just going to follow the same steps that I did on the side of the hair, and I'm going to apply it to the back. So I'll go ahead and let you watch this, and I'll speed it up a little bit and come at you with the next part of the haircut. Alright, now as for the edge up, as always, I like to start at the C-shaped portion of the edge up. And I'm going to be using the corner of the blade to do this. And the reason why I'm using the corner is because it gives me more control over the shape that I established with the blade. Alright, so next I'm going to go into what I call the box portion. Now this is the part that goes straight up and down and meets up with the C shape. So once you, and basically on the edge up, it's really simple and self-explanatory. You just want to get the outer edge of where the hair stops at, and you want to clean everything up so that your edge up can stand out. noticeable. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and go over my work again just to make sure that everything is nice, detailed, and cleaned out. That way my edge-up can stand out. And I'm going to let you watch this and come at you with the next part of the edge-up. And also remember that it's important to brush the hair while you're edging it up, just so you can not miss any hair that may be hanging over the edge up. Now as for this part of the edge up, I'm going to go ahead and start in the middle and work my way to the corner of his edge up. And the reason why I'm starting in the middle is so that I can ensure that my line will be straight across the forehead. I'm going to try to stay as natural as I can on this part, but I also want to make sure that everything is going straight across. So if you have to if you have to make some minor adjustments on the edge up, it's okay, but just as long as you don't create a significant difference in their natural shape of their edge up. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and do the exact same thing that I did on the first side. I'm going to go ahead and apply the exact same rules on this side of the edge up. So I'll go ahead and play this for you, and I'll come at you with the next part of the haircut. Alright people, well that'll just about do it for this haircut. Stay tuned for the picture at the end. I'm just finishing the goatee. But if you would, just go ahead and subscribe to the channel and give it a like and share, or however you want to support. I really appreciate it. But until I come out with the next haircut video, yeah.